Yeah, we've been witnessing a surge in the polls by Trump in the last few days. Has been narrowing the gap with Clinton, but his path leading to the White House is still pretty narrow. He has to win in three crucial battleground states: Pennsylvania, Ohio, Florida, while maintaining all the other crucial red states: Utah, Arizona, Georgia, and so on to win. And at the moment, Trump is trailing in Pennsylvania by a wide margin, but is still fighting in Ohio and in Florida, where the result is at the moment is too close to call. So I don't know whether the new scandal might prompt Trump to get to that White House. But as it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago, his path leading to the White House is still pretty narrow at the moment. Well, I personally do not believe that the U.S. president is that powerful. He doesn't garner enough power to change the U.S. stance or to alter the course of history. In the U.S., society produces politics. That's the way the founding fathers wanted it, and that's what usually happens. Meaning that what we're going to see in the future will happen regardless of whom will be elected president. Those trends are already in motion in the U.S. society. The lower middle class, the American lower middle class, has been damaged by globalization, has seen manufacturing jobs being shipped overseas in the past 20 years, I'd say. And now they're demanding a more introverted approach towards economy. Free trade promotion will be altered in the next years. Free trade agreements might be abandoned altogether. I believe that the U.S. won't withdraw from the NAFTA treaty, but other free trade agreements might be abandoned or not ratified in the next months, in the next years. So what we're going to witness is in America being more introverted, a sort of a semi-isolationist America in the next few years. And that will happen, according to me, regardless of whom will be elected president November 8th. Well, we've been witnessing for sure sort of a revolt against the establishment, against both parties. I'd say both the usual parties in the U.S., of course, Democrats and Republicans, because the lower middle class, but I'd say the middle class overall in the U.S. has felt, it still feels neglected by the establishment. The establishment, according to them, has been focusing of late onto minorities, trying to gain their appreciation. Has been on the other side has been focusing on the elite, but the middle class feels neglected, and that's the reason why we're witnessing such a revolt against the establishment at this point. I don't know whether the American parties will be able in the future to regain ground on that front, to convince the American public to trust them again. What we know as of now is that the establishment has been faring pretty badly nowadays. Is faring pretty badly nowadays, and what we're witnessing, according to me, is a revolt against the establishment, against all parties, and that's closely related to the ailing of the American middle class. Where there might be some similarities, because of course the revolt against the establishment is something that we're witnessing as well here in Europe, but I'd say that conditions are pretty different. In the U.S., the white middle class feels threatened by globalization and by the surging of other minorities, Hispanics, first and foremost. That's something that, of course, is not happening in Europe. So if you want to find a similarity, the revolt against establishment is the right path, to follow. But other than that, I don't see other similarities, as the American condition is pretty peculiar and I'd say different from Europe, especially considering that globalization is a product of U.S. supremacy over the globe. Of course, that's something that it's not related to Europe. It's something that it's only related to the U.S. So I'd say that there's a similarity, but there are also clear differences between the U.S. and Europe, even at this moment.